Welcome to Ivy Tech. We're so glad that you decided to join us. We hope that this video will give you a little bit more insight into the Paramedic Science Program and also answer any questions that you may have. My name is Carmen Elliott, and I am the Program Chair for the Madison Ivy Tech program and also the Program Chair lead for the statewide committee. Paramedic Science Program offers two pathways, either the technical certificate or the Associate of Applied Science degree. Both have the same prerequisites that you would need to complete Anatomy and Physiology 101 or Anatomy and Physiology 1, and then also that you are currently a licensed or certified Indiana EMT. We also have one other requirement within the course program is Anatomy and Physiology 2. It is not a prerequisite to get into the program, but it ends up being a prerequisite for our Medical 2 course within the program. And we do not recommend that students try and take both of those courses at the same time because it can be a very difficult load to manage academically. If you are going to pursue the technical certificate pathway, Anatomy and Physiology 1 and 2 are the only general education courses that you would need to complete outside of the paramedic core courses. If you were going to complete the Associate of Applied Science degree, you would have a few more general education courses that would need to be completed, such as English, math, and a humanities elective as well. Most of our programs range in length between 4 and 6 semesters, and some campuses structure theirs as a mostly hybrid or virtual model, while others will use a completely face-to-face model. And then there are some that use a blending of both of those methods. Now, with that being said, for example, here in Madison, I use a blended, but my students are still on campus 2 days a week. There are other programs that use a blended / virtual combination, and their students are only on campus 1 day a week. It would just depend on which campus you're going to explore as to what their setup would be. And we would encourage you to reach out to that particular campus and program chair to find out what their structure is like. Our program is a selective admission program. That means that we only admit students in August and January. Some campuses will admit a cohort in both of those periods, while others will only choose one of those periods. The application process for the fall beginning or the August start opens in March, and the January start application process opens in May. When we have our programs out there, we also have students in clinical. For our program, you're going to be learning things like pre-hospital pharmacology. You're going to be learning about traumatic injuries and how to treat those. Advanced airway management, things that as an EMT, you have the basic knowledge of, but we're going to add to that skill inventory that you have to expand not only your skills, but also your critical thinking knowledge, as well as your ability to handle more complex patients in the process. We have 3 clinical rotations within our program. Each of those clinical rotations are 120 hours apiece. And in those clinical rotations, you're going to be rotating through various hospital departments like the emergency department, respiratory therapy, ICU, OB and peds, as well as a rotation with anesthesia. In your 4th rotation, that is your ambulance internship, and it is 400 hours, and it is completely on the ambulance with a set preceptor. We do that so that we can make sure that you are comfortable and that you are competent at the end of the program to be able to sit for the National Registry of Emergency Medical Technicians cognitive exam. That is our licensing exam, if you will. It is the end all be all of our program. Once you complete the program, you can sit for that exam for licensure. And once passed, then you would in turn apply to the state of Indiana EMS Commission for application to receive your paramedic license to practice in the state of Indiana. Our program also requires that each candidate coming into the program complete a background check and a drug screen, as well as a physical exam. With that physical exam, there are certain requirements that we have of our students. It is not unheard of in the field of EMS that we are routinely bending, stooping, squatting, lifting 50 pounds, over 50 pounds actually, and also are exposed to loud noises on occasion. So you would need to complete that essential skills inventory and have it signed off by a physician, a nurse practitioner, or a physician assistant. We also require vaccinations in our program. Now, with that being said, we understand that there are a variety of reasons why individuals cannot complete some of those vaccinations, and there is a pathway available to apply for an exemption to possibly not be required to have those vaccinations. With our program, we also offer a variety of opportunities with our programs. We have a very high placement rate. We work very well with our partners out in the communities, and a lot of our students are actually hired right out of class if they're not already working. And that is a big question that we get a lot too. Can I work and go to the program? Can I go to work and complete school and be successful at it? And the answer to that question is yes, you can. The vast majority of our students are already working in the field of EMS and continue to do so while in the program. And most of them will work either part-time or full-time while they're in the program and manage it very successfully. All of our clinicals are able to be scheduled based around the student schedule and the availability of the clinical site. We have great flexibility in that if you have to work on Tuesday and Thursday and classes on Wednesday, that leaves you potentially a Monday and a Friday to do your clinicals, and you could schedule those clinicals around your work and class schedules as well. One of the big questions that we get pretty frequently is, what can I do with a paramedic license? What can I do with a paramedic degree? You can do a lot. And while most people traditionally think of us as only being on the ambulance, and that's the only place they've ever seen us, it doesn't mean that that is the only environment in which we work. There are a variety of places that you can take your license and work and do very well as a paramedic. We have paramedics that work in fire departments that are cross-trained as firefighters. We have paramedics that specialize in critical care and will go to the air medical industry for fixed wing or rotor helicopter transport of critically injured patients. We also have paramedics that specialize in working with specialty teams like wildland firefighting and search and rescue teams, austere environment type rescues. We also have paramedics that work behind the scenes. Most of us don't ever see them, but they are there. So every time you go to a concert, you go to a baseball game, you go to a football game, a major sporting event, a major festival, a concert, every time you watch a movie or a TV show, there is a paramedic there behind the scenes. We provide medical coverage, and they have specialty medical teams that will provide medical coverage for those events. In the event that something does happen, there are trained personnel, and a lot of times a paramedic is one of the people on that team to be able to provide that medical coverage. So when you think about what does a paramedic do, don't just think that you're going to be stuck on an ambulance, because there are plenty of avenues, even within being a paramedic, that you can take to expand your career. And even later in your career, we have plenty of people that will expand their career as a paramedic and build on that. And they might decide that they want to kind of jump into nursing, or they want to move into respiratory therapy, or some of them will go on to medical school or even physician assistant school. We have a lot of opportunities within paramedic science for you to work as a paramedic, but also expand your career in other healthcare avenues as well. I hope this video has been informative for you. It's been able to answer a few questions, and we hope that you will choose paramedic science because it is a very exciting career and one that will serve you well. However, we wish you well in whatever path you choose. Thank you.